Evasive Motorsports is a company name that is synonymous with quality builds and race car preparation. Since 2002, they've been racing and tuning Honda S2000s. In 2011, they decided to start their own aftermarket products under the name EVS Tuning. Last year, they introduced their Honda S2000 Race Spec roll bar. Today, I'm going to share my thoughts on the roll bar and my personal experience installing it on my Honda S2000 Club Racer. The roll bar was delivered well packaged. The feet of the roll bar were protected with cardboard, and the rest of the roll bar was diligently covered in protective foam. There was not a single scratch on the roll bar. Embedded inside all this packaging were 4 mounting plates and a pack of assorted hardware required for assembly. Once the roll bar was unpacked, I was able to take a finer look at all the details. The roll bar is fully TIG welded and assembled with 1.75-inch DOM steel tubing that has 0.095-inch wall thickness. It features a main hoop, rear bars, a crossbar, a harness bar for mounting racing harnesses, a bulkhead bar for mounting OEM seatbelts, CNC machined OEM seatbelt mounts, and optional gussets. All of these features equates to a roll bar that fits the needs of both a street car and a race car out of the box. For now, I'm going to mount up my OEM seatbelts, but in the future I'll be ready to install a 6-point race harness. And for those that are concerned about weight, the roll bar, mounting plates, and included hardware ended up weighing roughly 45 pounds. The parts that I removed from my car weighed roughly 60 pounds, so I'm actually shaving weight. It ended up taking me an entire Sunday to install the roll bar, so you want to budget at least 6 to 8 hours if this is your first time working with a roll bar. In order to install the roll bar, you have to remove quite a lot of interior panels behind the seats, and it's not that difficult, but it just takes a lot of time. In order to secure the roll bar, you'll have to fasten it to the supplied mounting plates. This part of the install actually makes people pretty uncomfortable because it involves drilling holes in the frame and cutting open the wheel well. This is the case with most race legal roll bars though, so there isn't really much you can do to avoid it. There aren't any instructions for how to do this, but the general approach is well documented on other YouTube videos and on S2KI. I used a 3/8 inch drill bit to drill holes in the frame where the roll bar met the body. For cutting open the wheel well, I use a Dremel with a metal cutting wheel attachment. The idea is to create an access area to slip in the mounting plates for the front parts of the roll bar. It would have been helpful if there were some instructions that indicated the best place to cut the wheel well, since it definitely varies from roll bar to roll bar. Lastly, I fastened the roll bar to the car and reinstalled the OEM seatbelts to the bulkhead bar. When bolting up the roll bar, I did run into one minor issue. The flat washers included in the hardware kit didn't fit around the included bolts, so I had to run to Home Depot and source some of my own. Additionally, after the install, I was left with 2 nuts that never found a place to be installed. A simple summary of the hardware contents would have cleared up any concerns that I had. I reached out to EVS Tuning about these issues, and they said they would look into the incorrect hardware issue. They also said they would be including an installation guide with a parts list that will be downloadable on their website soon. After bolting the roll bar, I attempted to reinstall any interior pieces I could. As is the case with most race legal roll bars, you can get the OEM glove box installed, but it requires trimming, so I opted to just leave it out of the car. You also won't be able to reinstall the trim panels behind or to the sides of the seat without trimming. Of course, nothing ever goes as planned during your first installation. When I tried reinstalling my OEM hardtop, I couldn't close the OEM side latches because the latches couldn't clear the main hoop of the roll bar. After reaching out to EVS Tuning and searching on SCCA, I learned that this is another issue that is common to most race legal roll bars. You can replace the OEM latches with an aftermarket solution, or modify the OEM latches to clear the roll bar. I attempted to modify the OEM latches, but ended up damaging them, so I honestly wouldn't recommend doing this unless you know what you're doing. A week later, I installed some aftermarket hardtop latches which resolved my issue. If you have an OEM hardtop, this is something you'll want to keep in mind. After driving on the street for a week, I've noticed that there was significantly more noise in the cabin due to the removal of the interior panels. You hear more of the transmission and differential whining as well as more of the exhaust. It is a pleasurable sensation that more greatly connects you with the car, but if you plan on daily driving the car, you may want to look into some ear protection for longer drives. When it comes to visibility, I've found that the roll bar doesn't really inhibit my rear view mirror and also doesn't obstruct my view when looking over my right shoulder. With regards to the OEM seatbelt functionality, I can confirm that the OEM seatbelt locks and retracts normally, which is great. As far as seating is concerned, the seat slides fully forwards and backwards, but you do lose some reclinability, so if you're tall and you sit further back, you may have to adjust your seat back position. I'm 5 foot 10 inches tall, and with my driving position, the headrest of my Bride Vios 3 is almost resting on the roll bar, so take that for what it's worth. To no surprise, the EVS Tuning roll bar delivers on its promises. The roll bar meets SCCA and NASA roll bar specifications and fits extremely well with my OEM hardtop. As someone who is 5 foot 10, I'll have no problem passing a broomstick test in my Bride Vios 3 on PCI slider seat rails. I wish EVS Tuning and other companies took more time to streamline the user installation experience with their products, but I completely understand that roll bars are a non-trivial affair. Hopefully this video and any additional videos I make about the roll bar will help other folks out there. Having said that, there is no doubt that the EVS Tuning roll bar is a quality piece that is well designed. If you're in the market for a roll bar, I don't think you can go wrong with the EVS Tuning roll bar.